Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. We have a fascinating story to share with you, coming out of the UK, where veteran socialist Jeremy Corbyn's new left-wing political party is facing a fresh crisis. According to reports, the party's co-founder, Zahra Sultana, skipped the first day of its inaugural conference in protest over the expulsion of several members allegedly linked to the far-left Socialist Workers' Party. This move has sparked concerns about the party's unity and direction, with some critics describing it as a toxic culture of leaks, legal threats, and bullying. Corbyn, who lost 2 general elections as Labour leader, had called for members to come together and unite, but it seems that divisions within the party are running deep. The row has raised questions about the party's ability to become a viable left-wing challenger to the ruling Labour Party, which has moved rightwards under the leadership of Keir Starmer. The new party, currently known as Your Party, has attracted around 50,000 members, but polls suggest that only 12% of Britons would consider voting for it. This has led some experts to warn that the party is at risk of being irrelevant very quickly, particularly with the Green Party, led by charismatic leader Zach Polanski, gaining momentum on the left. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops and exploring what it means for the future of British politics. For now, it's clear that Corbyn's new party has its work cut out to overcome its internal divisions and make a meaningful impact on the political landscape. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into a significant development in Israeli politics. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has officially submitted a request for a pardon to Israeli President Isaac Herzog amidst his ongoing corruption trial. This move has sparked intense debate and division within the country. Netanyahu is facing charges of fraud, breach of trust, and accepting bribes in 3 separate cases, which accuse him of exchanging favors with wealthy political supporters. He has denied all allegations and pleaded not guilty. The trial has been a major point of contention in Israeli politics, with many calling for Netanyahu's resignation. The request for a pardon comes after U.S. President Donald Trump urged Israel to grant Netanyahu a pardon in a letter. Netanyahu has argued that the trial is divisive and distracting, making it difficult for him to lead the country effectively. However, opponents argue that granting a pardon would be unjust and undermine the rule of law. It's essential to note that the decision to grant a pardon lies with President Herzog, who has stated that he will consider the request carefully and responsibly. The president's office has described the request as extraordinary, with significant implications. As this story continues to unfold, it's crucial to consider the potential consequences of a pardon on Israeli politics and the country's justice system. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments and providing updates as more information becomes available. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, let's take a look at the latest developments and the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. A Ukrainian delegation has headed to the United States for peace talks, aimed at discussing the Trump administration's plan to end the war. This comes as Russia continues to advance on the front line, with its forces targeting Ukraine's capital and region for 2 consecutive nights. The U.S. talks are taking place amidst turmoil for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and his government, following a major corruption investigation that led to the dismissal of his chief of staff and top negotiator, Andriy Yermak. The Ukrainian team, now led by Rustem Umerov, is set to meet with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff in Florida. The initial 28-point draft plan, prepared without input from Ukraine's European partners, envisioned a Ukrainian withdrawal from the eastern Donetsk region and effectively recognized the Luhansk and Donetsk regions, as well as annexed Crimea, as Russian. However, the U.S. revised the proposal after criticism from Kyiv and European capitals, and the current terms remain unclear. It's worth noting that these talks are taking place as Russia's advances on the front line continue, with a drone attack on the outskirts of Kyiv killing 1 person and wounding 11 on Saturday night. Additionally, a Ukrainian security source claimed responsibility for attacks on 2 oil tankers in the Black Sea, believed to be covertly transporting sanctioned Russian oil. As we await further developments on these peace talks, it's essential to consider the complexities and nuances of this ongoing conflict. We'll continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. That's all for today's Barber's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.